So, is Salzburg a good place to take kids? That's what we're going to explore in this video. So my husband and I are from Florida here in the good old USA, and our kids live in England, and they have a 3-year-old toddler son. Now, we love seeing them in England, but there's only so many times I want to keep going back to England. You know, I've got to fly all the way across the pond. I'd like to explore a little bit more of Europe on these big trips. So we've agreed with our kids to vacation together in different parts of Europe. That way we can explore more of the world, and at the same time we can give them a little bit of a vacation, because you know, Grandma and Grandpa are going to be chipping in quite a bit on the costs.
I love to travel. I love fashion, and hubby is a bit of a photography buff. So as we enter our golden years, we're combining those 3 loves and producing these videos. Hopefully we'll give you a few tips, reviews, or maybe some sage advice. Who knows? All we know is we're having fun making memories along the way.
Welcome to Traveling with 904 Style. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I love fashion. So it's a little challenging when you're a grandparent and you are planning a vacation and now you're throwing a toddler in the mix. Where are you going to go and what are you going to do that's going to appeal to the adults as well as the kids? And a toddler brings its own little set of, shall we say, challenges. Now, when you add a toddler in the mix, it's a little bit extra tricky because, you know, they're still tempted to throw those little toddler tantrums that they are well known for across the world. So what is there to do in Salzburg that will keep the kids active and engaged as well as entertain the adults? Well, let me tell you, there's actually a lot to do in Salzburg for the kids. So first off, at the top of the list, of course, is that famous castle that you see in every Instagram shot on top of the hill. It was so much fun for our grandson to go there. He could crawl up and down and all over the cannons that they had displayed. They had swords on display. They had armor on display. They had like those old-time puppet stuff, and they were showing some of the old-time puppet shows. So, you know, in addition to just exploring the ruins in general and the great views that are up there, he was completely entertained with all the stuff to do. I'll bet you that cannon, I bet he crawled all over that cannon, and there's more than one cannon. I bet he was crawling all over that for at least a half an hour. And that was good, because then Grandma could sit down for a little while he's crawling up and down the cannon and playing pretend cannon, firing pretend cannonballs. You know, and the other cool thing about the castle too is because you get to ride the funicular up and down. You know, and that's pretty awesome for a little kid. They get to look out the windows and see everything whizzing by. I mean, that was a lot of fun for him. Now there's also something else that's really cool in Salzburg, and that's a toy museum. Now when I first heard about the toy museum, I thought, oh my God, these are going to be old vintage toys behind glass, don't touch, you know, all that kind of stuff. Oh no, this is an interactive toy museum. Now, it was especially great because some of the adults could take him in there and play with him in the museum while the rest of us were maybe doing some shopping or something like that. So it was really a nice way to break it up. The adults can do a lot of what they want to do, and then somebody else is just watching the toddler for a few hours while he's in the museum. He didn't want to leave the museum. He was having so much fun. He got to play dress up. He got to put things together. More importantly, he got to tear things apart. What toddler doesn't love to tear things apart? And it was so much fun for him. And you know what else was really cool? They have what's called the Salzburg card in Salzburg that you can buy. You can get it online. It includes your transportation and it includes entrance to all these different museums. So if you haven't checked out the Salzburg card yet, you better check it out because it's pretty awesome, all the stuff that's included with it. Another really cool thing to do with a toddler or with any kid is the horse and carriage ride. I know it's a little cliche, but by the time the afternoon rolls around, I'm getting a little tired from chasing a toddler around. This is a great way to sit back, relax a little bit, and enjoy the sights. And what the really cool thing was, our toddler fell asleep. Oh yeah, he fell asleep on the horse and carriage ride. It was magnificent. Love him to death, but I do like a little quiet time too. Another really cool thing that we did was we went to see the Trick water fountains. It was Hellenbrunn Palace. I'm not even going to try and say the name. I will put it down here so you can see what it is. But this was so cool. It's timed entries, and there's a set number of people per group that can go through, and it's pretty organized because it is a popular place and they want to keep the groups moving through at a decent clip so that one area doesn't get too crowded. I really like it because it is a form of crowd control, so you can really enjoy what's going on, you can hear about it, and you can see about it without feeling cramped and overwhelmed. But the really neat thing about the experience is they have staff members who are operating the Trick fountains. So when you get up to an area, you better watch out because you're going to get wet. Especially if you're standing in just the right place, or should I say the wrong place? I don't know which one it is, right or wrong. But anyway, plan on getting wet. Our toddler loved it. He was laughing hysterically. He's running in and out and through the water. The fountains would just gush unexpectedly on him, and he thought that was so much fun. But I think what he liked better was when Grandma or Grandpa ended up being the victims of the Trick water fountains, because anytime we got splashed or we got wet, he was just giggling incessantly. It was so much fun for him. And they've got beautiful sculptures and beautiful grounds. I mean, it's so much more than just, don't think of it like a water park in the USA, like a kid's water park, because that is not what this is. It is water artistry. It's just absolutely beautiful. And to think that the planning and the thought that went into this so long ago, it was magnificent. And it was a great way to spend a half a day. Okay, of course we can't go to Salzburg without going to the Salzburg Zoo with a toddler. And the Salzburg Zoo, it was stunning. You've got the mountains in the background. I mean, there were a couple pictures we took where the framing was just amazing with the mountains and the trees and the water and the animals. It was so beautiful. And it's kind of set back against these hilltops and this cliff face. So, in addition to the fun of seeing all of the different kinds of animals for our toddler, you also had this stunning backdrop. Now, there was one area in the zoo that was particularly surprising and entertaining, and it's unlike anything you will see in the United States. So in the US, they'll have a separate area for like a little petting zoo where you can go in and just kind of pet some of the goats and chickens and, kind of get a little bit up close and personal. Talk about getting up close and personal with lemurs. They have a section of the zoo where the lemurs are not behind fences. They're not behind cages. They can actually run up. They'll run along by all of the people. They'll run down onto the sidewalk. They'll climb up in the trees. I mean, literally, I was like this far away from a lemur. And it's stunning and it's amazing, and you almost feel like, oh my gosh, a lemur's gonna jump on me. But he didn't. So that was just an amazing, fun experience. And for a toddler to be able to be that up close and personal with these lemurs. Now, I will tell you, the lemurs, they were fine. You weren't worried about them scratching or doing anything like that. They were well used to being around people. So I wasn't worried about that. But still, you still don't want to get up too ultra close. There was definitely no one that was trying to pet them. Let me tell you that. Nobody was trying to pet a lemur. Another big activity that we did was we went up in the, I'm going to say it wrong again, so I'm going to have to put it down here, the Untersberg cable going up to the mountain. It was an easy bus ride out of Salzburg. Again, you could get on the bus using your Salzburg card, and you could go up the cable using your Salzburg card. You had access to the mountain using your Salzburg card. Same thing with the zoo. You got into the zoo using the Salzburg card. So going up to the mountain was just absolutely precious. We went, it was beginning of summer, so we got to go up and play in the snow in the beginning of summer. We were throwing snowballs. You know, of course you had the great picture taking opportunities. There was a restaurant up there where you could get a light bite to eat or a light snack, and you could go hiking. There was just so much to do up there. And with a toddler, you know, just making a little snowman and throwing snowballs, that's all it took for him. He had so much fun up there, and so did we. The only thing I will say, though, is I'm afraid of heights.
No, really?
I hate heights. And that cable car ride, you know, I got up to a certain point and I'm okay, and then there was came a point where I just had to close my eyes and look down because I couldn't handle it. So if you're afraid of heights, I'm just going to forewarn you, you might want to watch out a little bit on that cable car ride. You might want to prepare yourself mentally before you go up on that cable car. There is so much more that you can do in Salzburg with a toddler that we didn't even hit. We were there for 5 full days, and we had a packed 5 full days with just those activities. Now, I did want to mention that if you're looking for a place to stay in Salzburg as an extended family, we found a short-term apartment rental, a vacation rental, about a 10-minute walk outside of Old Town. It's called Sauer Weingut. And if you'll follow my channel and look at my channel, you will see that I've done a review on these apartments. And it was a great stay. Our kids had their separate apartment. We had ours. Everybody had their own bedroom, their own bathroom, their own kitchens. We had ability to wash our clothes while we were there. It made for a great extended family stay. So we enjoyed Salzburg so much that I actually think I want to go back, just my husband and I, and just do full adulting time. But when you're traveling and you're vacationing with an extended family or with a toddler or any kids at all, this is a great choice. Everyone will have a great time, and you cannot go wrong with Salzburg.